Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the week 4 of the tutorial sessions on Foundations of Cognitive Robotics. This is a course offered by Professor Bishak Bhattacharya from IIT Kanpur, and I am Suryadeep, the TA for this course. So in this tutorial sessions, I'll be solving 10 questions from the previous iterations of this course to give you an idea for solving the assignments for this year's iteration. So let us begin. So coming to the first question, in the classical Kuramoto model given by this equation, what does the symbol tau represents? So what did the Kuramoto model study? Kuramoto studied the synchronization between a collection of oscillators, and this was the equation that he proposed, where theta is the phase of the oscillator, ith oscillator, omega is the natural frequency of the ith oscillator, and theta j theta a again are the phases, and this tau ij term represents the phase interaction function. So how the phase of one oscillator is interacts with the phase of another oscillator is governed by this factor tau I of tau ij. So the correct answer for this question is A. Moving on to question number 2, match the following models with the purpose of their formulation. The modified Kuramoto model, the stochastic Kuramoto model, and the second order Kuramoto model. You have one on one side, and on the other side you have the mean field model, including white noises, the study of synchronization between neurons, and both phase and frequency evolve in time. So you have to map the models and their purpose of formulation. So you have four options: A with 1, B with 2, C with 3, or A with 2, B with 1, C with 3, or A with 3, B with 2, C with 1, or A with 1, B with 3, or and C with 2. So this modified Kuramoto model was originally implemented to adapt to study the synchronization between neurons. So A maps to 2. The stochastic Kuramoto model led to the mean field model, including white noises. So B with 1. And the second order Kuramoto model was used to study both phase and how frequency evolve in time. So the correct option for this question is A with 2, B with 1, and C with 3. It's B. Coming to question number 3, which theory assumed intelligence as a cluster of 7 primary mental abilities? Is it the triarchic theory of intelligence, or Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence, Spearman's general intelligence theory, or Thurstone's theory of intelligence? So the seven as a class the intelligence as a cluster of 7 primary mental abilities was proposed by Louis Thurston, and the 7 mental abilities that he mentions are as follows. So associative memory, the ability to memorize and recall; numerical ability, the ability to solve arithmetic problems; perceptual speed, the ability to see differences and similarities among objects, that is to recognize patterns; reasoning, the ability to find rules; spatial visualization, the ability to visualize relationships; verbal comprehension, the ability to define and understand words; and word fluency, the ability to produce words rapidly. So these were the 7 primary mental abilities that comprises intelligence as per Thurstone's theory. So the right answer for this question is option D. Coming to question 4, with reference to the two-factor theory of intelligence, which factor is responsible for specific skills in each person and can be improved upon regular practice? So we have the G factor, the fluid intelligence, the S factor, or G factor and fluid intelligence. So the two-factor theory of intelligence gives the two factors as the G factor and the S factor. G stands for general intelligence, general, and S stands for specific. So the factor responsible for specific skills in each person, which can be improved by practice, by the name itself, is the S factor. So the difference between the G factor and the S factor is given as follows. This is the two-factor theory of intelligence, was proposed by Charles Spearman. So for the G factor, you have responsible for all mental activity. It's acquired by genes, present in all but varies in degree, can't be changed by education, practice and experience. Whereas the S factor is responsible for doing specific work and it's not acquired by birth, such as knowledge, singing, sports. So these abilities you acquire after birth, and they can be changed and improved upon education, practice and experience. So the right answer for this question is option C. In question 5, which theory suggests that a balanced form of analytical, creative, and practical intelligence will be referred to as successful intelligence? So you have the Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence, the triarchic theory of intelligence, the Spearman's general intelligence theory, and Thurston's theory of intelligence. So the right answer is the triarchic theory of intelligence. So the three types of intelligence that was proposed by Sternberg under this triarchic theory are analytical intelligence, creative intelligence, and practical intelligence. So analytical intelligence refers to ability to evaluate information and solve problems, a kind of logical intelligence. Creative intelligence is ability to come up with novel ideas, and practical intelligence is ability to adapt to a changing environment. So these three forms of intelligence can be referred to as successful intelligence according to Sternberg's triarchic theory of intelligence. And the right answer for this question is option B. In the classical Kuramoto model given by this equation, we know that the phase interaction function tau ij theta j minus theta I equal to kappa over n sine theta j minus theta I. So what does kappa denote? So the tau ij is the phase interaction function, and it takes in the parameters theta j minus theta I, where kappa denotes the coupling strength between oscillator J and oscillator I. So kappa is the coupling strength. So that denotes how strongly oscillator J is coupled with oscillator I. The right answer is option B. So coming to the seventh question, an integrated artificial cognitive system that attempts to model a broad spectrum of cognition in biological systems from low-level perception to high-level reasoning is neurobiological underpinnings, learning intelligent distributive agent, neural network, and sensory motor memory. So the right answer is option B, is the learning intelligent distribution agent. Coming to question 8, the EEG frequency bandwidth associated with mental activities such as perception, problem solving, and creativity is, so the range of frequency that corresponds to such activities are whether it's 1 to 5 Hz, 8 to 12 Hz, 13 to 30 Hz, or 30 to 50 Hz. So in EEG, what happens is a bunch of electrodes are placed on the scalp of a test subject, and these electrodes receive signals from the activities of neurons in the brain, and those signals are studied. So they are asking what is the typical frequency of the signals received. So the right answer for this question is 30 to 50 Hertz. Is answer D. Coming to question number 9, the filter that significantly attenuates all frequency below cutoff frequency but passes all above it. You have four options: a low pass filter, a high pass filter, a band pass filter, or a band stop filter. So what does this word attenuate means is basically it reduces the amplitude. So as if the signal is non-existent for a for when it's below the cutoff frequency and existent when it's above the cutoff frequency. So from the question itself you can deduce the answer is a high pass filter where higher frequencies oscillations or signals are passed through the filter. So the right answer for this question is option B. Coming to the final question of today's tutorial session is question 10. In a series of resonant bandpass filter, a lower Q value results in higher resonant frequency, smaller bandwidth, higher impedance, or a larger bandwidth. The Q factor is known as the quality factor and is basically the reciprocal of fractional bandwidth. So if Q is low, it means the fractional bandwidth is high and hence the answer is larger bandwidth. So the Q factor is a measure of how underdamped an oscillator is or a signal is. The right answer for this question is option D. So thank you for attending today's tutorial session. So this was the last tutorial for this course and I wish you all the very best for the exams and thank you again for attending this course. Thank you.